Hello Flosstube, my name is Emma, I go by Emma Lou Illustrates. If you are new here then welcome, and if you're a returning viewer then welcome back. This will be my third monthly Flosstube and I'm so excited to show you what I've been working on this month. But just like a little real quick, you might notice there's like a little black splodge right there. That is on the webcam. It's a speck of dust. I cannot get rid of it. I've tried everything. My poor streaming community has had to put up with it for the last month. It was just there one day and it's lives there now. You're probably really annoyed that I've pointed that out, but I thought I'd better point it out now before I get a ton of comments being like, what is this smudge? It's not a smudge, it's a bit of dust. But that aside, let's just get into the projects. So I do have 4 projects to show you, but there hasn't been much stitching this month, and that's because I've been working on my diamond paintings a ton this month. I started Mystery Monday, if you remember from the last video. I've then been working on my Tuesday piece, which is Freya from Diamond Art Club, and she is like so close to being done. I've also been working on a present for my nan and granddad. Well, technically it's just my granddad's one at the moment, but my nan's is ready to start as well. But we're just going to kick it off with the first cross stitch. So it's going to be a short-ish, maybe video, we'll see. But our first project is Cherry Magpie artwork by Jessica Doize. I really hope I'm pronouncing that surname right. But this was the new start I was talking about in at the end of the last video. So this is on a piece of 40 count linen in the colourway Temptation by Roxy Floss Co. And I'm also using the Roxy Floss Co conversion that Kerry, the owner and dyer of the company, has done. And it is available on her Instagram, which is at roxy.flossco. I will put a thing on the screen with it so you can go find it if you want. But yeah, so I started this. When did I start this? It was literally, I think it was the 1st of June. So literally I was like, monogamy is done. This is out. But yeah, so I'm stitching this on a piece of 40 count, like I said, 1/2 full cross. So there we have it. I haven't done that much on it, and the camera's like freaking out a little because it's a very bright fabric. But when I worked on this, I've only worked on this for 2 Sundays. Because if you remember, my plan was, well, actually, I don't think I told you guys this. I told my Twitch community. My plan was on Saturdays, I'd work on the reindeer, and on Sundays, I'd work on this. We're going to find out very quickly that didn't go to plan because of diamond painting. But for the 2 days, the 2 Sundays, I should say, that I did work on this, I did do a total of 1,244 stitches, which brought this from 0% to 10.41%. So that's not too bad. And then I have my Heartthrobs with Pride needle minder from Lumi Celine. And then this one came as a cover minder from one of my diamond paintings ages ago. And it just holds my poor man snag nabbit needle. And this has a bit of thread on it because when I was working on some of these colours, here I can show you the back. Sometimes I have little tails because I stitch till I have nothing. I like to do thread chicken a lot. So I have such little tails, so I just keep that thread on that needle to help me pull it through at the end. But I'll take that off when I actually use this needle to stitch. But anyway, that's that done. On to the next one. Our next one is Steampunk Fox, artwork by Barbara Anna. This is being stitched on a piece of 32 count even weave in the colourway Cloudstone by Fabric Flair. And I'm using all the called for DMC and I'm stitching this 2/2. So this is essentially 16 count fabric. This has had a total of 3 days worked on it because this is my Whip Wednesday piece. And in those 3 days, I've put in 1,397 stitches, bringing it from 55.25% to 78.82%. So she's getting real close to being done. Like, really close. Like, I've been working on her off stream on Wednesdays, and I did work on her this past Wednesday, even though I didn't stream. I streamed a game that day. It was actually this past Wednesday. But yeah, I did work on her. I am slowly, what I've decided to do is so I did all this and I was finishing this colour, and then I was just going to keep going, like start with this side and meet myself round. And then I was like, you know what? There's only like, I think about 1,000 something stitches left. I was like, so why don't I just go from the smallest number to the largest number and just colour complete? So that's what I'm doing. So when I started my colour completing, I did these two little rabbits here. And then that was that with that colour. And then I did this red. So, and that was that colour done. And then I started this blue. I can't remember if the blue is done or not. This really nice blue. But it's either done or it's almost done. And then the next colour after that is another red. So I'm just going to do that. And then I leave the white till last, even though this thing's so filthy. I know I say it every time, but it's true. She's so filthy. But it's going to be so nice once she's done. And I've got my Nerge grime guard on. So this is a grime guard meant for Nerges, because normal grime guards on Nerges, you'll see it when I show the reindeer. It hides so much. So I was actually really struggling to stitch on this because the grime guard would cover like this part. So I only had this small area to stitch in. And I got this from, hang on, there is a small tag somewhere on it. There it is. The Chromatarium. Oops, sorry, that's not in frame. Hang on. There you go, the Chromatarium. I'll also put a thing on the screen so you can see the spelling. But they're a UK-based company. Well, they're a small business on Etsy. But they have lots of these Nerge grime guards, and I think I might have to get a few more from them. This also was on Cherry Magpie because it's actually quite nice for holding that excess fabric in. But when I got this one out, I was like, I need more room. And I swapped the orientation of the Nerge because this was this side, so I couldn't put it in my Larry stand. But now I can, so it's actually much easier to work on. And again, I can just show you the back of this one. You can really see when I get bored of I'm doing single stitches of a colour. I'm like, just get this over and done with. But I do try to keep my backs quite neat. I don't really care about neat backs, but when you're working on something like this, you do want it to be a little neater. Yeah, that's that for this one. Okay. And next up is our HAED, or Heaven and Earth Designs. This is, hang on, let me just grab this thread out of the way. Melody of the Night, artwork by Leonid Afremov, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is my HAED Day piece. So HAED Day on my streams is on a Thursday. I stream for about 4 hours and I work on one full coverage project until we reach 1%. And then after that, we haven't done this yet, so I'm explaining something that hasn't happened yet, but the plan is, once this gets to 1%, we will spin a wheel. And then whatever project that lands on, I will work on that for 1%. Then I'll come back to this one to do another percent, and then we'll spin the wheel. So this one should get more work done on it. And lots of people in my community love this one because the colours are so vibrant and so nice. So this had a total of 3 days, so 3 Thursdays on it, which was a total of 420 stitches, which brought it from 0.55% to 0.74%. So we're getting close to that percent, and what's nice is we're now out of this pre-stitched hell that I did because I was doing this before I started the diagonal method, and this is on a piece of 28 count pre-gridded even weave by Zweigart, and this is 1/1 full cross in the diagonal method. So as you can see, I've drawn my little diagonal lines. And if I hold it up close and it doesn't get blown out as much. So yeah, so we're coming down. There would have been a picture to show you what it will look like when it's done. But it's so nice we're getting out of these pre-stitched bits. This area was the worst because of this bit here. And now we just got these little ninja stitches, so it'll be much easier to get out. And I have 3 needles on the go. I think the last time you saw this, I only had 2. I now have 3, and it's all thanks to Ivory Crow. Just working on that for a month, I realised 3 needles is needed for full coverage pieces. And I have my parked threads in these Bob E's. So it's BOBEEZ. They are so handy. One of them has a hole in it. I think it's this one. It's broken, but it still does its job. And I have all my needle minders, and then I have a tiny needle minder down here, and that's where my scissors go, because I normally have this in a clamp for the Lowry stand. Yeah, that's it for this one. This one will probably get another couple of streams, if that, and then it'll be on to something else. So our last project for today is the reindeer by Cottage Garden Samplings. As you can see, look, I still got my thread on it. This is my working. Hang on, let me just swap these about. This should be on the needle minder, really. Here we go. Yeah, so this is the reindeer. This is on a piece of 40 count linen in the colourway Stormy Night by Zweigart. It's a printed fabric, so the back, hang on, is plain. So the design's on the front, which is nice because it means it's easier to tell what it is. And this is stitched 1/2 on 40 count, so it's very tiny. And I've only worked on this for 1 day, and in that 1 day I did so much. I feel like it was more than 1 day, but I only have 1 day written down. Oh well. But we have the face of the reindeer coming in. I now have all the colours. The last time you saw this, I think I only had the antlers done. It's because I was getting all the colours. I now have all the colours and all the DMC for the rest of them. So it's going to make it much easier to get these done. And now the Year in the Woods Part 2's out, I really have to get this done. Because I've already got the first chart for that. I've got to wait for the second one, which is the Sugar Glider. I just need to get my button gear now. Now that once Freya's done, I guarantee that this one will be my next finish. And I've also found a few mistakes in this. But shh, we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, so stats. So in the 1 day I worked on this, I did a total of 389 stitches, which brought it from 9.44% to 16.28%. That's why I think it's like, is that right? But then again, I did 2 days on Cherry Magpie and I brought it from 0 to 10. So maybe that is right. Percentages are weird, and it also depends on how many stitches are in this. But yes, so this colour is the skin colour. This is actually the specialty thread that's used in the entirety of the reindeer. It's really nice. I love it so much. This one's not my, I think the fox is still my favourite. But this is also what I meant when I said about how the grime guard covers so much. Like if I turn it over, like the stitching area. But with this sort of a project, you need a bigger grime guard because you've got all this fabric. And like, although I have these clips to hold it, which are magnetized, it still needs that extra because I do put this in the Q-snap. Not the Q-snap, sorry, the Lowry stand side clamp. So it just needs the extra grip on this fabric. But yeah, I'll probably work on this some more soon. So, stitch count. So we have to go over the stats that we had from the end of May, well, monogamy, which was 10,648. That was our total at the end of monogamy. Well, when I made my video. Since after that, I did do a total of 1,075 extra stitches, which brings our grand total for May to 11,223. And now June. It's such a small number in comparison. But as of yesterday, which was June 26th, I have done a total of 3,450 stitches in the month of June. Yikes. I think this is like the worst month I've ever had in terms of stitching. But I did do monogamy, so I did work on cross stitch all day, every day in May. So I think I was allowed a bit of grace this month with diamond painting. And I probably will somewhere insert a picture for Freya, what looks like at the moment. And then maybe next month when I go over July. Yes, when I go over July's stuff, I'll put a finished picture of her in. So you can see why I spent so long. Like I'll show you like how many days and stuff. But on to plans. So the plans for July are to keep working on Mystery Monday. So over on my Twitch channel, I do Mystery Monday, which is where I work on a mystery diamond painting. The one we're currently working on, I'm enjoying so much. It's a small-ish one, and it's just been really nice to sit there and have some people guess what it is. And we're now at the stage though where we can tell what it is, but we're still going by the you can't say it in chat rule, because I just don't want to spoil it for everyone else, and some people like to play the guessing game once they know. So that's that. My other plan is to finish Freya, which I think will be finished. I think she'll be finished before she will be ready to be finished on my stream on Tuesday. So I've got to work on her some more. And then my other plan for July is to hopefully finish the reindeer this time, because like I said, that really needs to be done. Because I've got part 2 coming out and I need to catch up. And then my final plan for this coming month is to work on Tiger some more. So Tiger, I don't think you've seen this project, so I have it here to show you. But this is Tiger. This is all I have done on it so far. There's about a page and a bit of page 2. And there's a bit of page 3. And this is Tiger, artwork by Jodie Bergsma, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is actually a chart I'm doing, a project I'm doing for my mum, because I was like, you know what? It's lots of blues. There's so many blues in this piece, so I might as well. This is also not in its original Q-snap. I do have it its proper Q-snap, but when I was working on Ivory Crow, I spent days trying to figure out how to stitch on that thing. I started off with the Millennium frame, and I was like, it's just too big. It's just too big, too cumbersome. I was like, my back hurts, my arms hurt, and that was only working on it on the Thursday. So by like Saturday, I was like, So I actually put it in this frame, and my borders, because of the edges of my edge bits for my Ivory Crow, it was too close to the top, and as you can see, the corner on this, it's so saggy. I hate working on pieces with saggy corners, especially when it's something like this. I need this to be as tight as a drum, and this is not as tight as the drum, so I hate it. So I was like, okay, I'll put it in the Q-snap that this was in. So I did that. Same problem. Not enough tension, because I didn't leave enough of an edge. I did leave 3 inches. So that's not the problem. The problem is I just done it so close to 3 inches that I just didn't have the room. So I was like, right, back on the Millennium frame with you. And that's where it stayed. This one has been in here ever since, and I haven't touched it. But after today, I'm going to work on this actually after this video is done. And I'm putting her back in her original Q-snap, which is behind me. So my plan is for this is to at least finish. I'm not going to finish this page in the rest of the month, or in the month. I might finish it in June, but I have to arrange some things around, because I need to do my nan and granddad's presents. I need to do this because I want this done, and then there's other things I want to work on. So I'll just have to sit down and work things out. But yeah. Let me just put this back aside. Oh, and this is the regular version. This isn't the max color, because if this was the max color, I think I'd still only be here, because there's so many colors in this. I think there's 90 colors, and in a max color there's over 230. No thanks. I've only got one HAED that's the max color. The rest are regular colors, except for the Stitching Shelf by Amy Stewart. That is a color expansion. So that's the only time. But yeah, let me put this away now. So that's going to be it from me for the month of June. As I said, in the when I do my end of July video, I will go over everything we've done. Whether or not I stick to these plans, we'll see. Things change. I'll say on a Monday I'm going to do this Tuesday, and then Tuesday will come and I'm working on something else. So it's just all up in the air. Plans plans and me, I should say, don't stick together. Some things I do and some things I don't. But point aside. So like I said, I do stream over my Twitch channel, which is the same name as it is here, Emma Lou Illustrates. I go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday now. It used to be just Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, but with Mystery Monday, that's sticking. So that's staying, so that's added to the schedule permanently now. So on Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I go live at 3:30 p.m. UK time. And I stream for 3 hours, so I finish at 6:30 p.m. UK time. On Thursdays, I start at 3:30 p.m., but I finish at 7:30 p.m., so we get 4 hours, and that's when I work on my HAED. So Monday is Mystery Monday, Tuesday is Diamond Painting, Wednesday is Whip Wednesday, and also on Wednesday, in my Discord, we do a whip showcase. So what will happen is, partway through my stream, I'll just bring up the Discord, and I'll just show off what everyone's been working on. And sometimes we get hilarious goofs where where I read something like, this person is working on a unicorn, and then I'll ask silly questions like, oh, is this a dog? After having read, it's a unicorn. So if you want me to do things like that to your work, you should come on over. But we're also, so on Tuesday, because Freya's also going to be hopefully done. She probably won't be finished on stream because it takes me a few hours to finish a section, but she will be finished on Tuesday regardless, which means we now have to pick my next whip, or my next diamond painting. And then on Thursday, it's more Melody of the Night, and once I get to a percent, like I said when I was explaining that, everyone gets to pick a wheel, and then it will spin, and whatever it lands on is what I will work on. No ands, ifs, ors, or buts. Just percentage out the way. So, with all that done, that's going to be it from me. I will be back at the end of July with a July monthly update, as well as going over everything that happened for the rest of this month, which is only going to be till Monday, but a lot can happen in a few days. So, yeah. If you liked what you saw today, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you can get updates when I upload future videos. And I will see you in the next one. So until then, goodbye.